The leader that I'm looking for as we develop them is somebody that can live with coffee, tea, a quilt, and a pen. The coffee concept is this, is that we need leaders in the future that can sit down like we're sitting down right now over a cup of coffee and can talk about issues and talk about it in a comfortable way and can be persuasive. It's about the future leader that can thrive is the one that can sit down over a cup of coffee and can articulate and build relationships in that way, build positive professional relationships. So that's the coffee. The tea is not a cup of tea, it's a letter T. And so the letter T, you got to build your craft in the vertical part of the T. You're around people that are similar to you, you're comfortable with them, they're in the same MOS or same type of profession or skill. But what we need is people that can thrive at the top of the T. Thrive at the top of the T. And that's the horizontal part of the T where you've got diverse opinions, you got diverse ethnic groups, you got diverse races, you got diversity that expands out at the horizontal part of the T. And can you thrive, not only be comfortable, but can you thrive at the top of the T? That comes from our training, that comes from our education, that comes from our life experiences. And then the next one is the quilt. So there's this thing called a crazy quilt, which is a quilt put together with parts and pieces of material. So when you look at it, it just looks all different colors and different shapes. It's because somebody took a little piece of leftover material, added that in with other pieces, and made a quilt. We need to be able to get that quilt, look at it, look at the shapes, look at the sizes, get the feel of that quilt, get the feel of it, and understand how it was put together, how it's integrated together, where those parts came from, who brought in those parts. It's complexity. That is the nature of what we do. It's not an easy issue. It's things that are kind of woven together. But we need to understand, immerse ourselves in that quilt and get a good understanding of it. And that's the quilt. And then the pen, when I was a senior mentor over in Afghanistan in 2009, 2010, a war-weathered Afghan general, very articulate, he would say that God created the pen to further man's understanding. And I believe that. I believe that we need to be able to articulate issues in writing, well-crafted, coherent, concise writing that can inform and influence audiences, the things that our doctrine tells us that commanders, that leaders must do. That skill is being lost. And so the person, the leader that can do that can articulate an issue in writing coherently, concisely, with well-crafted, will be the leader that can thrive in the future. A leader that can sit down over a cup of coffee and be comfortable, build positive relationships. A leader that can thrive at the top of the T and can immerse themselves in the quilt and get the feel for it and get an understanding of it, and then can articulate those issues in writing coherently and concisely. That is the leader of the future, the leader that can thrive in complexity.